do not come. The further you can get from London, the better for you. Like some of my co-workers, their husbands had big jobs back home and came here and had to be healthcare assistants, and you just have to do what you have to do. But if you have children, small children who are not going to school, oh, that is a bigger mistake. Honestly, if I could turn the hands of time, I would have never. That's how I
said it before. Hey, stop that.
Hi guys, so today I have here the beautiful Tasha Lord. I'm sure most of you have already seen her on YouTube somewhere. So she has a YouTube channel. She's also an overseas nurse from the Caribbean, and she's working in the NHS in London, somewhere in London. I've been on her channel before. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. I'll leave a screenshot so you can head over and then, support her channel as well. And today she's going to tell us all the reasons why you should not move to London. All the reasons why you should not move to London. So Tasha, it's a privilege to have you here. Briefly introduce yourself, and then we'll go right to the purpose of this video.
Lemonade Finance is the sponsor of today's video. They made this video possible, really. I just want to say a big thank you to Lemonade Finance for sponsoring today's video. So if you don't know what Lemonade Finance is, it's a money transfer app that allows you to send money from the UK and Canada to 10 different African countries. At the moment, you can send money from UK or Canada to Ghana, to Nigeria, to Cameroon, to Senegal, to Rwanda, Ivory Coast, to Benin, to Uganda, to all these countries for free. Whatever amount you're sending is the amount the person is going to get. You can send it to their mobile money account, or you can send it to their bank account, and it's so fast and it's so convenient, and they have no hidden charges. You'll not be charged for the transfers. That's so great, guys. The person gets the money instantly. Their rates are the best on the market at present. If you're not in UK or you're not in Canada, so you're wondering how this could be of benefit to you, don't worry. I have inside gist that Lemonade Finance will be launching in other European countries and in the US very, very soon, and trust that immediately they do that, I'll be the first to let you know. You can download Lemonade Finance on either an iPhone or an Android phone, whatever you use. And then I'll leave a link in the description so that you can easily download using the link in the description. Also, when you're transferring money with Lemonade Finance app, don't forget to use the referral code NANEL. When you do that, you get 10% of the money you're transferring back into your account. Don't forget to use the referral code before you initiate the transfer, okay? So when you use NANEL and you send £100, you get 10% back. So when you use NANEL and then you send £200 to friends and family back in any of these 10 countries, you get £20 back. Don't forget, it's capped at £50, okay? Send money using Lemonade Finance and let me know what you think in the description. Thank you so much, Lemonade Finance, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get to the main reason why I clicked on today's video. Thank you.
So hi everyone, and like Nanelle said, my name is Tasha. I am from a small island in the Caribbean called St. Lucia. I don't know if you've heard of it. So I moved to the UK 3 years ago, June of 2019. So this month is actually 3 years since I've been here, and I did not have as much information available to me then like you guys have now. So basically, when my agent told me this hospital, I just said okay, and I went with it, and I ended up living 30 minutes away from the center of London. And this is why I'm here today, to tell you, I'm not here to discourage anybody. I mean, go ahead, live your best life, but I'm just telling you to be mindful, because I have experienced it, and so I'm sharing that with you.
How close to London are you?
So if I take the train, it will take me 33 minutes
to get to London. So that means you're not living in London.
I'm not in the center of London, and I'm suffering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about rent. How much are you paying for your rent?
So my rent is £9.75, which is considered cheap. Yeah. So everybody, when I tell people how much I pay, like my coworkers, everybody say, wow, they really wish they could get something. Because most people pay about 1,100 to £1,400 a month for a 2-bedroom. Previously, I paid $8.75 for a 1-bedroom.
How many bedrooms are you in at the moment?
So right now I have a 2-bedroom for $9.75, and that is not including bills.
Okay. So how much do you pay for bills?
So apart from the $9.75, when I add all of my bills, it would come up to around £1,700. Yeah. So because you have to pay for a council tax, you have to pay, and the council tax is, the bigger the house, there are different classes, and based on the size of the house and how, if it's modern or if it's an old house, you would be placed under a certain class and you'd have to pay a certain amount. So my council tax is roughly about £150, £160. So you pay your council tax and you pay all of the other bills and everything else. So it takes me to about 1.7-ish. And basically, if my husband was not here, then I would not be able to afford it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know, they say that if you live in a high cost area, your pay is higher. But when you balance it, do you think it's worth it?
So I heard that and I was excited about it because you think it's going to be something so much. But basically, every month on my pay slip, the fringe, it's like £100, like 110 sometimes. Yeah, it comes to about 110, £100 extra. That's what they give you for living in an expensive area.
So it's really not
So
worth it.
I would say, no, it's not worth it.
Wow. Where you are, if I want to buy a house in the area you are, how much will a 2-bedroom house cost for, let's say, an old build and let's say a new build? And let's say for a 3-bedroom house.
If you want an old built house, if you're lucky enough, you will get it for £150,000 and above if you're lucky. But most people pay £250,000. That's where it starts off, 250,000. And yes, and if you want a new build, prepare to pay 450,000 and above. And that would be the maximum you get is 3 bedrooms for 450,000. But most of the houses you get here, 250,000 and above, it's all built. You have to spend so much money to renovate it anyways. And the houses are still very small. That's the problem I have. I feel like if you're going to pay a lot of money, I don't mind paying a lot of money for rent. But if the house is worth it, it's not a problem. But the houses are really small. You don't have a yard. And me, I live in a flat. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So I live in a flat, so I don't have any yard or anything. I don't go outside. I just live in a building and I pay £975 for that. So that is another issue. Most people who have nice backyards and gardens pay 1,400 a month for their 2 bedrooms.
Would you encourage somebody that's starting, their whole relocation journey or their whole UK career journey to start from London?
My personal opinion, and I have shared this numerous times on my channel, as much as possible, if you want to come to London, please house share. I know that it might be inconvenient or uncomfortable for a little while, but do it until you feel like you are steady enough and you're financially stable to be able to move on your own. Because I believe that the decision you make on where you want to work in the UK will greatly affect your experience. Some people come and have lovely experiences because they lived places that they were able to save and go out and travel and enjoy their life. And most of us are just trying to get by. So then it changes your experience when you're trying to get by. You're like, oh my goodness, why did I do that? So I would discourage anybody, especially if you're single. If you're coming and you and your husband are coming, you will be fine. Don't worry. You will be fine because my husband and I, both of us work and we are fine. But if it's only you, please house share. And if you don't want to house share, you want to just enjoy your own space, do not come. The further you can get from London, the better for you. And I actually did a video talking about some of the cheaper places. So ask your agent, or if you're doing on your own, research these areas instead. But as much as possible, it really does affect your experience when you're struggling to get by.
So some would also say that, let's say there are so many opportunities in London. So someone will say that, okay, so there's a higher chance of your spouse or your dependent getting, or your partner or your husband getting a job in London than other places. So it's worth it. What do you think? Did your husband struggle? Is he a nurse? No.
No.
Did he struggle to find a job in London?
To be honest, my husband came and after 2 weeks he got a job. Initially, the first week we were not trying to get a job because he was just trying to enjoy the place. I was on vacation, and then the next week we started searching, and then they called him and he got a job. And since then he's been in that same job. So I do feel that it's easier to get a job in London because there are so many businesses, so much going on. However, I would tell people, like I said earlier, if you're married, you guys will be fine. But what I've noticed is most times people do not get jobs in the same fields that they used to work back home. And for most of the men, it's a struggle. Like some of my coworkers, their husbands had big jobs back home and came here and had to be healthcare assistants. And you just have to do what you have to do. My husband used to work in telecommunications and he studied architecture back home. However, he moved here and he just took the first job he got, and luckily it was a good job. So most of the times you can get a job easily, but you have to be willing to take whatever you get. It's a starting stone, it's somewhere to start, and just work up the ladder.
So if there's anything you like about London, what will it be? Anything at all?
One eternity later.
All right, let me think.
It looks like you're struggling to find just one thing to say. That's really bad.
It's not that I like London because of the ease of things. The ease. The thing is, I have visited other places outside of London, but I love going into the center of London because I love architecture. I love all of the big buildings, the modern buildings. I love that about it. However, I think for me, all of the cons outweigh the pros. So I love it to visit, and I would visit London even if I was living far away. I don't mind taking a day and coming just to visit and see all of what's happening. There's so many different businesses, different cultures, so much going on in the center of London, which I'm sure they have that in all of the different cities, I'm sure. But for me, I don't think it's a place that you should live because you think you will go to London every single day. Most times, I've lived there 3 years and I've only gone to London 3 times, and it's only when you have visitors or meeting up with friends, which you can do if you were living far away. And if you were living far away, you'd be able to afford to go to London. But when you're living close to London, you cannot even afford. The train ticket is so expensive as well. So for me, I would tell anybody to do your research. If you still feel like you want to come close to London, then make sure you look into house sharing. You can probably, if you come in with friends or colleagues, do house sharing with them. And also people who have children. So you might be married and think, yes, it'll be fine. But if you have children, small children who are not going to school, oh, that is a bigger mistake because you have to pay somebody now to look after them, and childcare is very expensive. I don't have children, so
You're making me very happy. I didn't choose London, you know.
no, if I could turn the hands of time, I would have never. That's how I feel about it. I love where I work, and that is the only reason why I haven't moved, because I love my workplace. But every day, every month when I get paid, I think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then my entire salary just goes and that's it. And you do it all over again. I would not encourage anybody.
Before your husband joined, how much were you earning as a nurse at the time per month?
So
averagely,
my husband came 3 months after I came.
Oh, okay.
And I was at the hospital accommodation where we were paying. The hospital accommodation, imagine, was I think 400. The hospital accommodation was already 400. So, and the hospital accommodation is usually the cheapest accommodation. So, I think it was 400 then. And by the time my husband got here in the September, this is when I first moved. That's when I was paying the 875 or 850.
Are you able to save?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I am able to save because both of us work. So I feel like we are able to save a good amount of money because there's 2 of us. But if it was just me, I know I would not have been able to.
Yeah. Wow. So your final words for those that are thinking of moving to London, or for those that, some people don't have the choice because they're struggling to find a job, and that's the only place they go because there are more opportunities there.
Yeah.
So you said that they should consider house sharing if they are single, and if they can't come with their partners, they should come with their partners. And
definitely.
How much do you spend on transportation per month?
So the good thing about it is that I live 10 minutes from my hospital. So I walk to work and walk from work. My husband drives about 20 minutes to work. So on average, we might spend £150. Well, now that gas has gone up, like £200 a month for gas. And apart from that, we don't really travel much unless I don't really take the train. So we drive to places. So I would say maybe $250 a month. It's just because my husband has to drive to work. So
are you thinking of leaving London sometime?
I am definitely thinking of leaving. It's just really sad for me because I love where I work, like I said, and I'm going to miss it. But when you think about your whole experience, it's not a good experience. And you want to travel, you want to save, you want to invest, you want to try new things. And it really limits you because we know the nursing salary is not going up any higher. and the cost of living is going up. So you want to enjoy your nursing experience. You don't want to just come slave away and that's it. You want to enjoy it while you do it. So I would encourage anybody to do your research, watch all of these videos, all the channels you can get on YouTube talking about the experience in the UK. Look at all of these videos and make your decision. And if you have to come to London, look at all of the ways that you can save money. And as soon as you feel like it's appropriate, then move to someplace that is better for you.
Thank you so much, Tasha. So, guys, if you're thinking of coming to London, you've heard it all. Yeah. And if you're contemplating on choosing between London or Northern Ireland or somewhere else, now you've heard it. Now you can, make an informed decision. So thank you, Tasha. Guys, head over to Tasha's channel. She hosted me on her channel sometime back. You can go watch that video and other videos on her channel, and then support her channel as well. We're so grateful, and we can't wait to have you in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I was looking at it.
Okay, thank you so much, dear. Bye.
All right, see you. Bye-bye.